If any, first off, everybody say hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom, what's up?
All right, now, if anybody here had trouble with the quiz, we're going to go over the quiz right now. So what I suggest you do is you go home tonight, and before you start your homework, watch the YouTube channel. We're going to go through the whole quiz, and you know tomorrow's quiz is going to look just like today's quiz. The really cool thing is I thought today's quiz was pretty tough. It was chock full of all of the material that we've been doing the last few days, and it's pretty obvious to me that probably a quarter of you have like a perfect hold on the material. Another half of you are pretty close. And then the other quarter, we have some work to do, but it wasn't like your answers were clueless. Your answers definitely had some semblance of reality to them. So the first question was 3x minus 1 is equal to 11. And I think just about everybody got that right. So I'm going to go quickly through it. We always attack the plus or minus first. So this is plus 1, 3x equals 12. Remember, it's the opposite of the order of operations. This says multiply the unknown, the x, by 3. So we're going to divide by 3, doing the opposite. X is equal to 4.
Yay.
So that's the first one. And I think darn near every person in the class got that correct.
You marked me wrong. I got it right. My homework.
Did you?
Yes.
All right, I'll correct it later on then.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, believe me, I make plenty of mistakes. Okay, number 2. Solve for n. 2n plus n plus 5 is equal to 26. Now, what you needed to recognize on this one, and this is where, this is where it's phenomenally important that you learn what's the right mindset going into these questions. The big thing you have to do is always ask yourself, hey, is it just look like a normal two-step equation like here? Or is it a same side or an opposite side situation? As I take a look at this, can you see that the ends are on the same side of that equal sign?
Same operation.
Yeah, so you do the same operation. So I get 3n plus 5 is 26. Now it looks like the one before that. So if you could take this first step to make 3n here, then you make it look like the first question, which virtually every person got correct. So all you really need to learn is how to go from this step here to the step below it. Minus 5. 3n equals 21. Divide by 3. n equals 7.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah.
I don't know why, but I did 5 plus 2. I got 7, so then I did 7 times 2 plus 7 plus 7, then plus 5.
Well, I don't know what you're doing either, but here's yeah, it's don't even just here's the thing you need to understand.
I got it right.
But you need to look at things from a same side, opposite side perspective. You always want to look, Alan, head the game. You always want to look that way first and ask yourself that question first, and then you'll be in good shape. It's kind of like, you learn this when you're a little kid. Look both ways before you cross the road. You just have to do that, otherwise there's going to be a lot of pain involved. So now what you want to do is look at the equation and say, is it same side, is it opposite side? And that tells you how to proceed. Just like if there's a car coming, you stay there, and if the road's clear, you cross. Yes, Rena?
So if we got a 100 on it today, do we have to do each one?
Nope. So when you come in tomorrow, you can just do homework or whatever you want to do. Okay. Now, so the next one that we're going to do here is slightly different in the sense that before you start the question, I asked, is this a same side situation or is this an opposite side? What do you think? Guys, take a look. Opposite. It's opposite because, look, here's my little wall down the middle. Do you see how the variables, that's what we're always talking about here, are on opposite sides of this wall? Uni, you with me on this? The variables are on opposite sides. Michael, head in the game. Since the variables are on opposite side, everybody, what do? That stunk. Opposite side?
Operation.
Good. So what kind of 2n is this here? Positive. So I do the opposite and I go negative 2n. God bless.
Bless you.
7n's minus 2n's make 5n minus 5 is equal to negative 25. Now, this is a danger moment. It's so easy to think that this 25 and just put down a positive 25. But always peeking in front, it's negative, so I make sure I put a negative there. Now, I just solve as normal, because now it looks like a two-stepper. 5n equals, now negative 25 and positive 5 is negative 20. That's the importance of the relearn packet from the last chapter. Because if you're struggling with that, You could do every step in this equation right, but you will get the problem wrong, not because you don't understand chapter 2, but because chapter 1 is haunting you. So make sure you get that relearn packet done, and that will make this test grade so much higher. If you can get your packet done by Friday, it'll be done before this test, and this test grade will be higher, and you will be much less likely to have to do a relearn packet for the second test.
This test coming up is on this stuff.
It's gonna be about half old and half new. Yes?
On this question, I did it that way first, but then I tried to check it and it got me confused because the numbers didn't.
All right, I'll check it for you. Dividing by 5, n equals -4.
Yeah, I got that the first time, and then I tried going up and back and putting in the numbers.
I'm gonna do it right now. I don't mean to cut you off, only because we're we're not short of time yet, but I wanna make sure we get through the lesson. So let's go through this, ready? What's 7 times -4? -28. Minus 5 equals, what's 2 times -4? -8. Minus 25. Bless you, so, well, no, whatever. If I have 28 negatives and 5 more negatives, I have 33 negatives. And if I have 8 negatives and 25 more negatives, I have 33 negatives. So it does check.
And then
Nice.
I did 7. I went the opposite way. I started with 7 and went back.
Whenever you're gonna check, you always just plug it in the original equation. You don't move things
No,
back and forth.
doing instead of n, I did -7.
Oh, you could do that, but then the problem with that is that you get more negative signs, and you're more likely to make a mistake. If you do it right, you'll get the same exact answer. Okay, next up, 2x plus 7x minus 1 equals 5 plus 12. Now, is this a same side situation or opposite side? Here's the line. No, it's same because these 2x's and 7x's are on the same side. So we just want to add those up. 2x's plus 7x's are 9x's, minus 1 equals, but here's the little gimmick in this one. The 5 and the 12 are also on the same side, so it equals 17. The big mistake you'll see people do is this, and I noticed it on a couple of your papers. Look here, make sure you're paying attention. Michael, this is the big area of mistakes for kids. They'll do minus 2x, right here and here. That's wrong. You should not do that. You only do that if the x's are on opposite sides like we did over here in the blue with the -2n. But since the x's are on the same side, you do the same operation. Now I add 1, 9x equals 18, divide by 9, x equals 2. Now, the last question we need to go over is number 5, and I want you to know that I thought a lot of kids would get this question wrong, and we did so good on it. We really did. We did so well on it. We did a really nice job. It says, you figured out right away that you needed to multiply, which is really good. And then we did 5 times 10 to the 7. And then I expected lots of people to multiply the coefficients to get 15 times, add the exponents 10 to the 10th. And I expected lots of kids in the class to stop here, because on your last test, a lot of kids stopped here. But the overwhelming majority of you knew that you needed to divide by 10 here and multiply by 10 here, so that gives me 1.5 times 10 to the 11th. And I want you to realize that that's why I give relearn packets. It does not matter how fast you learn. It matters that you learn. So what if it took you an extra week to learn how to do this question? Now, if you went back and took the old test, there were 1 or 2 questions where you had to do this manipulation. Now you would get it right. In the past, you got it wrong. That would increase your test score 8 points. And now if you do that for the whole relearn packet, everything goes up and good things happen. Okay? Any questions? All right. So the next thing I want to do is I would like to take a look at your homework. Okay? We got, by my count, probably about 2 or 3 minutes to go over these homework answers. So let's take a peek at this. Okay. All right, I had to close some files here. Scan to. All right, so here's our sheet from the other day, and here's the homework. So this is lesson 2-2. Okay, today is 2-3. So here's some homework answers. Take a look at what you did and see what you're thinking. See if you, recognize things. Like I wrote danger, danger, danger on top of one of them. Did you recognize that as the danger situation? Look at your answers. See if you're getting the same answers I'm getting. If not, pop your hand up. We'll go over it. Okay, this is chock full of same side and opposite side situations. Rena?
7.
Number 7, that's down here. I'm just going to scroll up a little bit. Did you recognize that these H's were on the same side?
No.
There's your mistake. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Right? If you see that, then everything starts going the right way. What Rena just did, Rena got 100 on her quiz, and I'm willing to bet your homework looks pretty good too. The reason she got number 7 wrong is because she did the wrong first step. If you don't become perfect at recognizing, oh, that's same side, oh, this one's opposite side, you will get them wrong. But as long as you recognize it correctly, and she has the skills already, she's going to get every one of them right, unless you make a careless mistake, and we all do that sometimes. Okay? Alan? All right, we'll check that in a couple of minutes. Anything else here that you want to check? Okay? Next page, this is all review work. Someone mentioned what kind of questions are on the next test. You can guarantee that these kind of questions will be on the next test. And you can also know, Elizabeth, I know, has been doing a relearn packet. I'm sure you've seen lots of these in there. So as you're learning how to do these in your relearn packet, you're actually helping your second test grade. So we get all of those things done at once. Yes?
Number 13, I didn't know that you're supposed to put the exponent, the 3 on it.
You mean on the final answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do because, and the best way I know of to explain it is to say this. The cube, this exponent on the outside, refers to the -3, but it also refers to the x. So if I only put the -27 and the x, I've forgotten to use that exponent on the x. So you've got to use it on both, okay? All right, it's kind of like that distributive property we worked on the other day. Not exactly like, but similar to, or that we'll work on today, I'm sorry. All right, any other questions here? All right, tomorrow we'll take a little more time to talk about number 18 because this is a little tricky. You actually have to multiply the 0.5, which means you have to divide the exponent, and that's why you go down 1. All right, so we'll talk a little more about that kind tomorrow, but I want to make sure we get through today's lesson in its entirety. So let's talk about the distributive property. You know what I think about every time I think about distributive property? Christmas.
Well, I like
I always think about Christmas. Yeah, you gotta love Christmas. What I think so much about the distributive property is this: when we were when our kids were young, younger than you guys, say 5, 6, 7, 8, they had just learned to read, and you'd go inside and you'd see the Christmas tree and see the presents under the Christmas tree, and they would distribute the presents to everybody in the family. So they'd read the tag if it said Mom, Dad, Bobby, Jimmy. They would then bring the present to the right person and distribute it to them. So to distribute means to give out. Another example, I think we have an obligation as a society when we have a little bit of extra money to try to help out those who don't have as much. So we would distribute to the needy people. My son Jimmy, he just went through his room. He made this huge bag full of clothes that he says he just doesn't need. His room's a pigsty. He's got too many clothes. So he's giving it to the veterans from the wars that are coming back, and some of them don't have clothes and stuff. So he's giving it to them. That's another example of distributing it to the needy people. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look at this and I'm going to say, okay, this number outside the parentheses needs to be distributed to the numbers inside the parentheses. And the operation distribute is always to multiply. So all you need to do is multiply. What's 5 times x? And the whole class said 5x. And then this is a positive 5, always peeking in front. What's 5 times 2? 10. So it's a positive 10. And that's it. It's 5x plus 10. I think it's easy as well. Let's take a look at the next one. Distribute means to give it to both of them. What's 7 times n? Everybody? 7n. And what's 7 times -4? -28. Nice. Try the next one. Okay. So we distribute this. Alan, 3 times 3w, what do you got?
9W.
Nice. And then 3 times positive 5.
15, sir.
Positive 15. Nice. Okay. Let's take a look over here. A little bit more demanding. Give it a shot. Okay, Franklin, what do you think? 2x times x. Don't be afraid. Give it a shot. If you get it wrong, it's not a big deal. Yeah, and if I wrote 2xx, what's another way to say 2xx? 2x what?
How,
Squared.
okay.
Doesn't x times x mean x squared, just like 5 times 5 means 5 squared? Okay. Minus 8x, because 2x times 4 is 8x. Okay? Now, taking that idea we just discussed here with Franklin, let's take a look at the next one. What's 5n times 2n? What do you think we get there? Not 10n. 10n squared. Good. And then what's 5n times negative 3? Negative 15n. Be sure to include the positive or the negative. Michael, 7h times 3h, what are we going to get? 21 what? What? Not 21h. Help them out, everybody. Everybody.
Cube.
Not cubed.
H to power.
Squared.
Squared.
21h squared, because 7 times 3 is 21. You got that part right. H times h is h squared. What's 7h times negative 2? Negative 14h. Okay? So that is the distributive property, and we did a little bit of a review of monomials. How does this relate to equations? The way it relates to equations is this. If you see an equation like number 1, hey, stop. Hey, stop. If you see an equation like number 1 with a number outside the parentheses, the first thing you're going to do is distribute. What's 5 times n? 5n. And what's 5 times negative 2? Negative 10 equals 15. And now, doesn't this look like a normal two-stepper, like that first question on the quiz?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pick a number 4.
Come over here. Take a look at this one. What would my first step look like?
12.
12x, then what? Minus what? 28 equals negative 4. Don't forget that negative.
Wait, number 5.
And then we solve it. You distribute the 5, then do combine like terms. Same lesson tomorrow. You got a good start today. Tomorrow we'll clean it up. Hasta la vista. Vaya con Dios. Toodaloo. Ta-ta. Arrivederci. Smile a lot. Ciao.
I didn't leave anything under my chair, so.
Yeah, there you go. Arrivederci. Adios, amigos y amigas. Cheerio.
I don't know if I can come to the library because I'm going to
Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Yeah, the library is tomorrow from 5:30 to 7:30. Okay? Okay.
I got these rolling.
You got the top part right. That was worth 10 points each.
Oh, okay.
And then it was 10 points each for the bottom.
Alright.
Okay?
Mr. Linguist, this is like the main of homework.
Okay, I will, I'll check them off in a couple of minutes. Okay? And then ask for them back tomorrow.
Another real packet cuff. Some of my desk and my sister up to
I will try to print a copy between now and the library,
Thank you.
between lunch. I don't know if it's an A or a B day.
I think it's A.
Thank you. Oh, more there. Uh-oh, who we playing today? Ooh, tough game. Go at him. All right. I have to post a video to my YouTube channel, so I'm going to be rude and ignore you for a couple